Hi, have you ever come across those types of people who never know their right place? Those people who always overstep their boundaries in your educational or professional atmosphere? I'm sure you have, and actually this is something that happens to us, to all of us regularly. That is why I had the motivation to choose a short story for this episode of Joy of Learning Literature by an American writer called James Thurber, and the title of this story is The Catbird Seat. At first, I need to tell you that catbird seat is an American expression, meaning a place that cannot be reached, a person or organization without any errors or mistakes. In this story of ours, there is this main character called Mr. Martins, who has been working in the filing department for about 20 years and faces this annoying Mrs. Barrows, who has been hired by the manager of the office to make it a better place, to make it great again. However, since that person lacks the information or the experience in order to improve the situation of the office, she starts getting into people's ways. She starts to bug people around the office, especially this Mr. Martin, who has been considered as a kind of infallible man, not making any kind of errors. Calls him names, she calls him names, all the time asking, do you sit in the catbird seat, or do you think you're in the catbird seat? Meaning that you think you cannot make any mistakes, and simply wants to find some fault with this Mr. Martin and, I don't know, maybe fire him from the office. That is why, little by little, our Mr. Martin decides to rub her out of the office. By that I mean eliminating her from the office. Every day after work, he goes home, thinks of ways of doing that, and finally, he makes his decision. One night, after eating out, because he's a very tidy man, the same time, the same place, the same dinner maybe, he just puts on his best clothes, buys a pack of cigarettes. Just for the record, I need to tell you that this person has never smoked, or actually he has never drunk alcohol in his life. But on that night, as a part of the plan, he buys a pack of cigarettes, puts it in his pockets, and heads for Mrs. Barrow's apartment. Watching the area around her apartment, he enters through the main door with actually Mrs. Barrow's consent, very clearly and without any problem. In that apartment, he is offered alcohol. He accepts it. Mr. Martin, who has never drunk, accepts it. And he's offered cigarettes. He produces his cigarette out of his pocket and smokes the cigarette. And even something more interesting, little by little, I don't know, maybe under the influence of alcohol, he starts talking about his plot. I mean his plan to do something. And the plan is to put a bomb in the manager's office and blow him into pieces. Can you believe that? Mr. Martin, with that clear experience, with that clean file. And as Mrs. Barrows hears about that plot, she decides to ask him leave. And okay, he stands up and leaves the apartment. As you can guess, next thing in the morning, Mrs. Barrows goes to the manager's office and tells him about the plot, the plan, the bombing plan. And since Mr. Martin is a type of person who has never drunk or smoked and is accused of being there and smoking and drinking, the manager thinks that that woman has gone crazy, has lost his mind. That is why, in the end of this story, that woman is fired, Mr. Martin's place is safe in the filing department, and actually that woman has learned her lesson. Thank you so much for your attention. I am badly looking for your precious comments to make this program even better. Thank you so much. See you later.